Maya is frustrated about not getting a promotion after 15 years of service in the same retail store. She finally gets the opportunity of a lifetime when her godson Dilly prepares a fake work profile, so she can prove her worth to the big names in the corporate world. Maya is out for her early morning jog in Queens Boulevard amid the hustle and bustle of the city. Her boyfriend Trey brings her birthday breakfast in the shower. Maya is getting ready for a possible big promotion, but is scared because every manager at the retail store has a college degree. Trey believes her 15 years of experience should count for something. Maya asks Trey about the best way of impressing her boss, Weisskopf. Trey suggests she should give it all she has, and nothing can stop her from achieving what she deserves. Maya meets Weisskopf at Ozone Park Value Shop and starts giving him an impressive pitch about why their store is doing better than the competition. Weisskopf asks Arthur to take notes as Maya explains how helping her friend and colleague at the store, Joan, gave her an idea of the ways in which sales can be expanded. When Joan sent her son Dilly to the store and asked him to video call, Maya got the idea of streaming the store so that customers can order what they want. Maya shows how the idea began at their social club, called Monday Moms, where Joan and some other moms meet to share their woes. Weisskopf is impressed and suggests that Arthur as the manager would be fortunate to have Maya as his first lieutenant. Realizing that her promotion has been passed up again, Maya chases after Weisskopf to politely insist that with her experience and position as the assistant manager for 6 years, she is much more qualified for the position than Arthur. She has also ensured constant growth for the store. Weisskopf reminds Maya that she doesn't have an MBA degree like Arthur, and corporate procedures won't allow him to give her this promotion. Maya complains to Joan about not getting the promotion. Joan lets it slip that at least Trey is about to propose, which worries Maya more, because she is not ready to settle and have kids. Maya enters her surprise party and tries to act surprised. When she is sitting with Joan, Trey, a football coach, describes the first time he saw Maya on the field and fell for her. He feels that if her bosses can't see her worth, then there's something wrong with them. Maya agrees to dance with him, and they enjoy the moment. Maya helps Joan clean up the plates, and still feels frustrated about not being made manager. She feels it is unfair that even at the age of 40, she can't get the promotion she deserves. Joan points out that life isn't fair, and that at least Dilly is going to Stanford. Maya is happy for Dilly, but is still frustrated. Joan asks if this is about Sarah, and insists that Maya should not keep beating herself up for it. Dilly comes in with a birthday cake and insists there are plenty of other jobs. He asks her to make one wish on her birthday, and Maya wishes for a world where street smart people equal book smart people. Arthur is conducting a team-building exercise, and calls Maya aside to ask her not to roll her eyes at him. Joan calls Maya out and informs her that she got a call for a job interview at Franklin and Clark. Maya recognizes them as the brand who make most of the items in a section of the store. Maya hasn't applied for jobs anywhere, and learns from a guilty Joan that Dilly wanted to make her wish come true, so he started applying for her. Maya starts walking towards her job interview with confidence. She enters the beautiful building and comes across many women. At the reception, she gives her legal name, Maria Vargas, and is told about her interview on another floor. When she arrives, she learns that the interviewer is expecting her. Anderson Clark, the owner of Franklin and Clark himself, greets her warmly and welcomes her. Maya is surprised by this special treatment, and starts discussing the job profile. One of Anderson's vice presidents, Zoe, then comes in, and he introduces Maya as someone who works for Weisskopf. Zoe learns that Anderson was about to offer her a job in consulting, and asks Maya about product development. Since Maya is familiar with their products, she starts describing what all she thinks works for them. She focuses on the skincare line, which she believes is behind the competition. This offends Zoe, but Anderson is eager to hear her thoughts. Maya explains with exact numbers of how their skincare products are received, because they don't seem to be meeting the claims. Maya realizes that Zoe is insulted, and assures her that she did not mean to offend anyone. Anderson then pulls out a file where Maya has apparently been to Harvard, worked with the Peace Corps, and even climbed Kilimanjaro on her Facebook page. Maya instantly knows why the owner of such a huge company decided to interview her personally. Maya recounts her interview experience to Joan. They both confront Dilly, who immediately agrees to have created a Facebook page for Maya. He asks them to give him some credit, since he gave her a new identity. Arthur wants to change the name of Monday Moms, since he feels it is sexist towards men. One of the moms call him stupid, and Maya cannot contain her chuckle. Arthur asks Maya to remember she is his right hand. Maya gets a call, and seems very disoriented, but agrees to whatever they said. She informs Joan that she got the job at F&C, even though she thought Zoe hated her. Joan feels this was her test and she passed it. When Arthur calls her, Maya walks up to him and declares that she cannot work for him anymore. He wishes her luck, and comments on how difficult it is for a woman her age to get any job. Maya visits Trey at his football game and discusses the tournament he is hoping to enter. Maya encourages him, and asks him to meet at the Full Moon Pizzeria after practice. Trey can't believe how Maya got the job, and asks if she will come clean to them. Maya feels she deserves this, and Trey is happy for her. He suggests that after she takes this job, they can work on starting a family. This changes Maya's mood, and Trey immediately picks up on that. He wants kids and is open for adoption, but can sense Maya is not up for it. He feels disappointed and suggests it is best if they end their relationship. Maya is devastated and goes to stay at Joan's house. Maya tries on a bulky outfit for her first day, which Joan begs her to change. The moms from the store are cooking breakfast and dancing in Joan's kitchen. When Maya enters in a much better outfit, Joan tries to get her to dance. Maya keeps resisting, but finally gives in and dances with them and Otto. On her first day, she is introduced to Ariana, who is her probationary assistant. She introduces Maya to Hildy Ostrander, who is Maya's development executive. Maya is completely in awe of her fancy office. Hildy gives Maya keys to a corporate apartment in the city too. Maya learns that Hildy has been in the company for 6 years, and she can take advice from her. Hildy informs Maya about a meeting on skincare, and warns her that people will be looking for reasons to rip her apart. While entering, she points to another development executive, Ron Epson. Ron comes over to Maya and introduces himself. He asks Maya about her college, and she decides to play along. She confuses the gender of a professor, but is saved by Zoe, who enters the meeting and starts discussing the new mandate to replace the existing moisturizer line with an organic alternative. Everyone starts talking about how sudden that is. Anderson hears the mayhem and knows it must be about Zoe's news. He touches her shoulder, and Hildy reveals he is Zoe's father. Anderson wants to formally introduce Maya to the group, and explains the new mandate is inspired by her feedback. Ron wants to hear Maya's game plan before they take up the challenge. Maya explains how the company seems unethical while trying to convince people that a product is for hair growth when it is only a shampoo. She feels like people felt scammed by the controversy with their brand, and that such a mistake should not be repeated. The chief chemist Felix insists that the chemicals were all within FDA guidelines. Anderson asks them to not fight, since they are on the same team, which gives Zoe an idea, and she decides to team up with Ron to work on making the current line more organic, while Maya finds a new product which is completely green and within the profit margins. Anderson knows Zoe wants to compete and agrees to give each of them 3 months. Hildy immediately gets to work and suggests that it is very important to get Felix on their team, since he is the best. Felix refuses to work with them, and so do all the other chemists who work under him. Ariana takes Maya to a different chemist who works with them. Ariana introduces Maya to Chase, who went to MIT and now develops cat food because Felix exiled him. Chase wants to get back at Felix, so he agrees to join Maya. Joan helps Maya move into her new apartment, and they are both mesmerized by how grand it is. Maya asks Joan about Trey, and finds out that a lot of women are hitting on him after finding that he's single. Joan thinks Maya should have told him the truth from the beginning, and that it wasn't her fault for giving up her child when she was just 17. Maya feels lost, so Joan takes her shopping to make her dress her part. Maya has a new professional wardrobe, and she enters the elevator with confidence. She starts working on her plan after brainstorming with Chase, Ariana, and Hildy. They agree to work on a product that is organic, profitable, and makes people feel thin, young, and lovable. They start looking at products, and Hildy suggests they need to start with research. Maya feels like they need to be in the stores, talking to managers and people. Anderson drops by and invites Maya to the yacht club, since she cooks for her team in college. Maya's team starts racing with Zoe's, and while Zoe seems clear and confident, it is clear Maya has no clue about what is happening. Anderson assures Maya that they can beat Zoe. Maya starts mimicking whatever instructions Zoe gives, but she gets all the words wrong. Maya's team miraculously seems to be doing better than Zoe's for a while, but there's an accident and Maya knows she has messed up. Anderson is amazed after the experience, and swears he heard Maya say something else when she was giving instructions. Maya recalls what happened a while ago, when she managed to confuse her team, which ended up crashing into Zoe's boat and making everyone fall. Anderson thinks it was hilarious, but Felix and Ron start getting suspicious of her. Maya tries talking to Zoe warmly about her father, and notices how worried Zoe is about him. Zoe is unsure of his decisions after her mother passed away 6 years ago, since he refuses to take a day off. Maya shares that she lost both her parents when she was young. Zoe feels they have warmed up, and suggests she should rest for her big day when they test prototypes. Maya starts testing Chase's experiments, but feels like vomiting. Ariana and Hildy start asking people questions on the street about their skincare routines. Maya asks Chase if they can make something that doesn't have the chemicals, but still looks and smells nice. Chase feels they will need natural ingredients for that. Ron calls the registrar's office to confirm Maya's credentials. The man on the phone assures him that she graduated with honors. While he is still on the phone, he hears another man abusing him, and it turns out to be Dilly's friend shouting from behind while playing a video game. Dilly asks him to be quiet, and makes an excuse to assure Ron. Dilly is engrossed in his video game and misses Ron's second call, which gets transferred. Edward Taylor's secretary picks up and informs Ron that he is unavailable. Ron requests for a callback. Maya is proudly watching Trey's match on the phone, and is happy that they won the national championship. Hildy slams a couple of books on Maya's desk and announces it is the research she ordered from downstairs, which is the standard procedure they should have followed. Hildy feels like they have wasted 6 weeks on nothing. Just then, Zoe asks to speak to Maya and informs her that they have a meeting soon with the CEO of their new Chinese distributor, who wants to meet her and Ron for dinner. Since his English isn't great and their only translator is on leave, she wants Maya, who knows Mandarin apparently, to help her out. Joan thinks she is screwed, but Maya wants her to take this issue seriously. Joan decides to get Maya in touch with her cat's veterinarian, Dr. Chow, who speaks Mandarin and can help her with the translations. Maya is fluently conversing in Mandarin with the CEO, Mr. Zhang, and asks him to understand that her language might not be accurate. Maya has an earpiece through, which Dr. Chow is instructing her about what needs to be said. She switches to English and insists that Ron and Zoe should join the conversation too. Zoe warmly welcomes Mr. Jiang on board, but Ron is more dismissive. When Mr. Jiang tells Maya in Mandarin that he finds Ron arrogant, Maya insists that his anal gland needs milking, which is what Dr. Chow says on the phone to his assistant. Mr. Jiang finds this hilarious and insists he loves Maya. Zoe thanks Maya for the help and asks about her project. Maya honestly reveals that it is a lot tougher than she thought. Zoe offers to help with some research she did on it a few years ago, which is in her dad's apartment. Zoe visits Anderson's office and informs him that she is headed to meet Maya. Anderson insists he wants to talk to her about something related. Zoe opens the door for Maya, but looks at her weirdly. Maya compliments the house and asks if Zoe grew up there. When she notices Zoe's mom's photo, Zoe reveals that she was adopted. She brings her to the room and apologizes for the mess. Zoe starts showing her all the things from her childhood. Maya realizes something when Zoe brings out her first blanket from her birth mother. Maya now knows Zoe is her daughter. Zoe explains that even if she gave up, Anderson kept trying, and found out about Maya. Zoe learns that Maya named her Sarah before, and when they are out for a stroll, Zoe asks about her father. Maya met him at a party and didn't know his last name, but assures her that he was beautiful and sweet. She explains that since she was just 16, she had to give her up. Maya explains that at one point, she had to work 2 jobs to sustain them. She couldn't let Zoe grow up without a home, so she decided to give her up for adoption. Zoe feels she always had that sense of rejection, and admits that even if she didn't like Maya earlier, she is in awe of everything Maya has accomplished. Maya is in tears when Zoe finally finds her research and gives it to her. They decide they don't need to reveal their situation at work yet. Joan is happy Maya found her daughter, but Maya feels weird that someone she hated so much last week is the same person she can't stop thinking about. Maya is worried, because Zoe wants to meet her fancy Harvard friends. Anderson meets Zoe and Maya and tries to explain what has happened. He remembers the time Zoe started looking for her mother, and knows his wife would have asked him to help Zoe. So he kept looking till he finally found Maya online. He was impressed with her profile, and claims he would have hired Maya anyway. Maya's friends turn up suddenly for the lunch, pretending to be her friends from Harvard. They highly exaggerate their characters, and Maya feels nervous. Maya and Joan discuss how nice Zoe seems. Joan still feels like Maya needs to tell her daughter the truth about who she is. Maya feels like the truth would end her, because Zoe thinks of her as an amazing person. Maya doesn't want to lie, but she can't also lose her again. Maya takes Zoe to the bench where she came with her when she was a baby. Maya hates Christmas, because she had to give her up around that time. Zoe wants to change that, and brings a Christmas tree to Maya's apartment. Hildy has found a hole in the market, which is tangerine, and her research shows an increase in sales of creams with a citrus component. Ariana then gives her the bad news, that working with tangerine will cost 13% more than Zoe's line. Maya feels like there should be another way out. Maya visits her old retail store and feels lost. While pouring coffee, she gets an idea and leaves. Maya calls Chase and asks if it is possible to make just one product that works for all purposes, which would reduce costs. Chase insists that SPF formulas staying on the skin can be toxic. Maya suggests they can brainstorm later, and asks him to join her for the office Christmas party. Chase is nervously drinking a lot, since he is not accustomed to such parties. Maya asks why Felix banished him, and learns that the scandal Maya spoke about earlier was Felix's idea, and he wanted Chase to hide it. Zoe then comes to greet Maya, and Anderson joins them too. He asks Maya for a dance. Chase finds Ariana and tires to comfort her, since she is afraid of heights. Maya can't stop looking at Zoe while dancing, and Anderson comments on how Zoe doesn't belong at the company, and he thinks it's time for her to pursue her passions and go back to art school. Maya is surprised to hear this, but he reminds her of portraits she saw in their apartment. Maya compliments Anderson and his wife for how they have raised her. Chase takes Ariana outdoors with a blindfold, but she would much rather be inside. Ron dances close to Zoe and cuts in to start dancing with Maya. She clarifies that she hates him, and Ron gloats about how they have already completed their project. Maya hears the name Weisskopf and knows that her old boss is there. She tries to hide, but Ron drags her towards where he is standing with Anderson. Ron reveals that he invited Weisskopf and asks if he remembers Maya. She confidently declares that she just consulted locally. Ron is about to make another comment when Maya drags him away. Ron knows she's just trying to distract him and insists he wants to destroy her. He feels he will rejoice when people learn that she is a disaster. This gives Maya an idea, and she rolls Ron in a way that he crashes into the Christmas tree and falls. Ariana and Chase are going somewhere when Ariana kisses him. Right then, Maya swoops in and drags Chase away to work on something. On their way, Maya refers to Hiroshima and explains that after the USA dropped the bomb there, a team was sent to Japan which found that only a single living tree was left, which started growing back. She explains how soldiers took out clippings from this silver ginkgo tree, one of whom was her grandpa. Her grandma left her a plant when she passed away, which is of the same tree. Chase realizes that the tree is resistant to radiation, or the sun, and this is the secret ingredient they need. They reach Maya's old apartment, and she sneaks in to take away her plant. On her way back, she watches an old video of her and Trey before she was rejected for the promotion. Hildy announces that she is leaving Maya to work with Ron, since they now have an agreement. Ariana just locks her out of the room and feels relieved. They just have 3 weeks left, so Maya gets to work and asks the chemists to work with the plant. They start experimenting with it and come up with the reports showing their results. Finally, when the last leaf is left, the test returns positive. Ron comes to taunt Maya about stealing Hildy away from her, and she politely ignores him. Chase and Ariana then come running in and give Maya the good news. Maya is thrilled and starts dancing around. They have a presentation the next day and decide to work on it. Anderson announces to the board of directors how 2 teams, led by Zoe and Maya, were challenged to create different products. He asks Zoe on the stage, and she reveals the 2 products she made. Maya then takes the stage and announces that for the task she had, her team had to think outside the box, which is why they are taking their presentation outdoors. Maya starts her speech by pointing to the ginkgo tree and comments on how their consumers want something natural. She feels that they have the opportunity to double their market share with one organic product. To add the wow factor to their presentation, Ariana and Chase release some doves into the air, who unfortunately crash and fall. Maya turns up for Joan's Christmas birthday party and finds that Dilly decided to not go to Stanford. This upsets Joan, and since Maya knows how much Joan wanted her son to go to Stanford, she asks Dilly to not make this bad decision yet. Trey then comes out of nowhere, and Maya is surprised to see him. Maya asks to talk to Trey alone, and starts confessing about her daughter. Trey already knows through Joan, and insists that she was always good enough for him. He also feels that no relationship should be built on a lie. Maya then gets a call from Anderson asking her to come to the office immediately. Anderson congratulates her, since the board has approved and decided to endorse her product. Zoe is very supportive, and feels great when Anderson offers to let her join the company as a permanent employee. Zoe takes Maya out to celebrate, but notices she isn't excited about this. Maya asks Zoe about the photographs in the apartment, and if she is planning to go back to art school. Zoe thinks her father needs her, and she just found Maya, which is why she doesn't want to go to the school in London. Maya still thinks she should follow her passion. Maya is still distracted at the cafe, and confesses that she is thinking about what her ex told her. Zoe knows there is something holding her back from joining their company, but she wants Maya to know she is grateful to have her back in her life, and doesn't want her to leave again. Maya sits on the same bench and thinks about her life. Ron finally gets a call back from Mr. Taylor and learns that Maya had been lying about her identity. Zoe comes on the stage during the presentation that is being streamed, and announces how grateful their company is for having Maya. She then ushers Maya into a round of applause. Ron also starts walking towards the stage as Maya begins her speech. She thanks Zoe and Anderson for giving her this opportunity, and talks about how it isn't possible for some people to reach where she has, because they don't have the right education. She declares that she has to be truthful, and starts telling her truth. She confesses that she has been lying to everyone in the company, and that her profile is cooked up. This is met by shock from the crowd, and Ron is thrilled that the truth has finally come out. Joan feels proud of Maya for owning her truth, and even Trey, who is watching the stream, smiles. Maya goes on to explain how she knew none of them would have looked at her if they knew of her real credentials. Zoe feels really hurt about this and leaves. Maya declares that while everything about her was a lie, the product is true, and hands over the stage to Chase and Ariana. Maya packs up and prepares to leave her apartment. Zoe is waiting for her outside, and asks if everything she has ever told her was a lie too. Zoe feels like she cannot trust her anymore, and has to walk away. On her way to find a new life, Maya writes a letter to Zoe explaining the consequences of people's choices. Zoe reads the part where Maya insists giving birth to her was the right choice she made. Maya starts working on something of her own, and rents a workspace. A reporter meets Maya to understand what she has done over the year. Maya explains that she created a nationwide service for people to shop from home through an app, which essentially creates an online store. This app has been created by Dilly, who helps out when he is free from Stanford. They have also partnered with Value Shop and Weisskopf. Maya enjoys dinner at Joan's house when Trey comes and asks to speak with her. He refers to the letter she sent him, and asks if she means everything. Maya feels Trey is her family and feels like she's finally ready. Maya is relieved that despite her mistakes, she found her way back to Zoe. Maya meets Zoe between her run and asks about her about art school. Maya wants another chance with her. After some hesitation, Zoe agrees to forgive her and jogs with her. This is when Maya finally knows that the only thing stopping people from moving forward is their own fears.